The Marcus Deegan Show. What's the story, guys? Welcome to another episode of the podcast, shooting from Las Vegas. I don't know why I always say that. You guys already know that by now. I'm your host, Marcus Deegan. Thanks for listening again. Listen, we got a lot to talk about and a few things to catch up on. Obviously, we want to talk about the fights this past weekend, UFC 272. There was a bunch of great fights. Of course, we were all looking forward to the main event. Colby Covington took it out. The man that I've got coming on the show again actually predicted that, along with a few other things that came true. It was a great weekend of fights, and I hope you got to check them out. One of the gentlemen that I'm about to talk to right now, he had a fantastic fight, a dominant fight, which I thought. Welcome to the show, Mr. Tim Elliott. Looking good too. What's up, brother?
Hey, man. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
How you feeling?
Feeling good, a little bit sore. Was able to go to practice today and get a full session in. Got on my live rounds. Feeling good. Glad to be home.
What's hurting at the moment?
Left foot is a little sore. I kicked his elbow. Neck's a little stiff, but other than that, I'm good to go. No injuries, no damage.
Okay, it's funny that you say that because I just want to bring up what you said last time I spoke to you last week before the fight. You actually said there's no real damage factor. The worst that can happen is he can hold me down. But that didn't happen. James Krause said that you executed the game plan perfectly. What was the game plan, Tim?
I used to be the guy, like when people would shoot, I would just pull guillotine and try to go for a guillotine. And a lot of times I would just end up on bottom. So I would pull these 180s or I would scramble like crazy to get on top. And then I would scramble like crazy to get on bottom. So the game plan was stuff to take down. If he did put me on my back, rather than switch and hang out, was scoot to the cage right away, cut the whizzer, belly down, and get up. We knew he was going to be heavy on the lean briefly, but he wasn't going to stick with it. And, James was right. He coached me through several positions from there. The other two guys that Ulanbekov has fought in the UFC were very quick and accepting of being on their back. So I think he expected that from me, especially after my last fight. And, we did the opposite of that.
You dropped him in the first round. Was that a big confidence booster for you? Did he seem, was his skill set as good as what you thought?
Yeah, he was really good. I knew he was going to be good. He was bigger than what I thought. And, he was really strong. I have this bad habit of, when I do land a good shot and rock somebody, of shooting a takedown right away. I'm a wrestler at heart. So when something good happens, I shoot. When something bad happens, I shoot. I think a little bit more training, a little bit higher fight IQ. I don't go shoot a takedown right after that. I keep my distance and range and start trying to throw some more pop shots like that.
How was your cardio throughout the entire fight? Did you feel good? Were you, because you seemed spot on in all aspects, in all areas. It was a great fight to watch. We all really, really loved it, man. I mean, with you, there was takedown after takedown after takedown. There was controversy with what the commentators were saying. They were talking about the semi-illegal knees. They were talking about the glove grabs. What's your comment? What are your thoughts on that?
I was so excited to fight in front of fans. I had probably 15 people there from Wichita, Kansas, my hometown. And they were all right above the tunnel when we were walking out. And they were getting me all hyped and screaming. And I was down there screaming, and then get to the cage. And then I was like, oh shit, I'm kind of tired already. Like, I haven't been in fans in 3 years. And, the cardio was there. Again, I had a little bit of an adrenaline dump, but I'm one of those guys who I don't even call it cardio. It's some people have the ability to fight when they're tired. And I can do that. As long as I don't go away, I can fight when I'm tired.
So I suppose for us guys like myself that aren't fighters, the adrenaline dump that you got when you saw your mates and your family there, can that really tire you out?
Yeah, man, I felt like there just wasn't a big, I don't know, kind of like my chest fell to my feet. Like I had a little bit of sand in my shoes. But, again, it was, I came in between the first and second round and was like, James, like, I feel like I'm forcing things, like my hands ain't there. And he's like, dude, shut the fuck up. He's like, you're clowning this dude. Like, he was like, hey, if you don't believe in yourself, like, believe in me, because I'm a fucking winner. And, and then again, he just he can put me through on those moments. I trust him to the fullest. So anything that he says, like, I can go out, and he coached me through some situations. At one point, he was about to lock his hands on the cage, and James was like, take your left knee and point it at the ground. I pointed my knee at the ground, and like, I felt his hands just get a little bit further apart. There's just little things that he says. Wow. And like, as long as I do them, man, I'm going to win. I'm going to keep winning. You know, I still made some mistakes in that fight. But again, there was nothing that happened in that fight that we didn't train and prepare for.
So, I mean, you had your lovely fiance in there. We could see that she had tears in her eyes. She was definitely very, very happy for you. James Krause was happy for you. After that fight, like, when you get back home like you are now, is that what the first thing you do? Do you just like get on the couch, put it on the big screen, and then just watch it a few times? Is that what you guys do?
Yeah, so I watched it once there in Vegas with James, and I was like, you know, and then, you know, I still wasn't that impressed. And this is something James said that he wishes he would have done more in his career, is like, take time to like enjoy your wins. Cause you know, I'm like, I got this win, and then I'm like, God, I want to get to the gym and do this and do that. And he's like, dude, just like relax and enjoy your win. I wasn't able to do that right after the fight, but like you said, we got here last night. We sat down on the couch, we watched it, and I was like, I could see, you know, I don't want to brag about any of the skills or technique, but like, I could see the things that we worked in camp, like day in and day out, like coming to play, and he was good at executing the things that we knew he was going to be good at. And he did exactly what we thought he was going to do. And like, I wouldn't have won that fight had we not done all that skill building and preparing it. This was the first time James said, I want to fight based on like my fight IQ and my training, and not on like my physical attributes. Like me being more athletic or faster or like funky had nothing to do with it. Like the things that we trained were the things that won me the fight, and that feels good.
Yeah, that's got to be gratifying. Yeah, definitely. Now, I mean, throughout the fight, I could see that he was yelling to his corner. Do you have any idea what he was saying to Khabib and Islam Makhachev throughout that whole bout? Because he seemed frustrated for some reason.
I mean, it's a frustrating thing, like especially having. I'm a grabber, man. I'm handsy. You know, I'm a forehead. I push my forehead first. Like I wrestle with my head. Like I'm all knees and elbows. Like it's a fist fight, man. Lots going on. Like, but for James, what he was saying is when he's doing those things, like he's not in the fight. Like he's focusing on other things. Of course, people are going to be grabbing you. Of course, people are going to be punching you and kicking you in the head and like rubbing your face. So, and that was something with me at one point. I said something to the referee, and like when I got home and watched it, I was like, that right there is, I can't be doing that shit. Like I'm getting out of focus talking to the referee. I just got to let them do their thing, and I have to focus on what I can focus on. And that was just a small moment of me losing focus in the fight. And that's another thing that I got from this. Like I'm going to take care of that. And that's an easy fix.
I don't know if you've seen the footage of Khabib in the corner, but he was not a happy man. I don't think I've ever seen him that angry ever in my life.
Yeah, man. Passionate coaches.
Yeah.
It's a real thing.
Yeah, it is a real thing. Hey, and it's good to see. It just adds the passion to the sport. You also did predict that Colby would take it. Did you watch that fight, and what did you think about that? Pretty dominant, right?
Man, really dominant. And like, God, that's an awful thing to have happen to you. That's exhausting. Like 5 rounds of that is, and hats off to both those guys. What a great fight. And, but man, and especially if Colby was on one leg, like the rumors were buzzing about. Pretty impressive win. Man, that's whew.
So who do you think? Do you think that the winner of Gilbert Burns and Khamzat Chimaev should fight Colby next?
Yeah, I think man, I don't know. There's a lot of good fights in the weight class. I don't think anybody's like jumping quick to fight Usman right now. So yeah, I would like to see them guys fight and see who comes up next. But that was a good performance by Colby. I was that's a hard route to fight 5 rounds like that.
All around a fantastic card. The fights were enjoyable from woe to go. You seem healthy. You seem fit. Any thoughts for when you want to jump back in there next? And have you got your eyes on anything? And how different do you feel after that win? Does it excite you to get back in there quicker?
Yeah, man, it feels really good. And that's exactly it. Now that I got the win, I want to keep the momentum and the learning going and get something. My wife fights in 7 weeks, so I'm not going to fight before then, unless something pops up short notice, somebody gets hurt. And you know, I came in the gym and trained this morning after practice. I was 138. I'm going to keep my weight down. just in case. We're trying to get married and make some money, and you know, being able to be in the States and ready to fly out at any time and able to make weight at 25 and 35 is a good opportunity right now for me to make some money. So, you know, of course, Gina's fighting next, so that's the number one goal.
Well, these things happen. Look what just happened to Terrence McKinney. I mean, he only fought, a week or 2 weeks ago, and then he's fighting on this card, Drew Dober, who's also a gun as well, and I think that's going to be a spectacular fight. And I think
I'm excited about that fight.
I'm pumped about it as well because I love Terrence. I think he's great, and for him to jump back in there straight away is just awesome. But listen, Tim, thank you very much for popping back in again, man. I know you got a bunch of interviews today. He could have done the Ariel Helwani show. He could have been on the Michael Bisping or Joe Rogan, but no, look where he is right now. On little old Marcus Deegan. But brother, I appreciate you. I thoroughly enjoyed. Thank you so much for the entertainment this weekend. I was screaming from here, and I'll look forward to talking to you again soon, Sam.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man. Take care.
Appreciate you, brother. Thanks, Tim.
Later.
Well, there you go. It's always good to talk to the guys after the fights because I like to know how they're feeling, what they've been doing, did they watch it, and it was great. Thanks to my nephew, Harry Rudd. He was the one that suggested that I bring up what the commentators were saying throughout Tim's fight. And, you know, those questions are hard to ask sometimes. Oh, the illegal knee or the glove grabbing, and you know what I mean? I don't like to go down that road sometimes, but you guys want to hear it. You want to hear those questions asked, and the more experienced I get at this, then the more balls that I get to ask those kind of hard-edge cutting questions. I know you're listening to this, guys, and the listening, whether it's in the car, wherever you are listening to this podcast, I do appreciate it. However, if you haven't seen it, if you haven't watched it, we do ask you to please go onto the YouTube channel. We are really trying to kick that off. And, you know, I have an amazing studio here in Las Vegas where we talk to a lot of the guests when I'm doing in-studio interviews. At the moment, I'm doing these virtual interviews until we get back into the studio, probably a little bit, maybe in a couple of months. And then we've got some big interviews coming up, as you know, who we're probably going to be interviewing in the summer. Don't want to say too much more about that just yet. But yeah, guys, if you're listening, I do appreciate it. But I want you to go and check it out on YouTube, The Marcus Deegan Show. Great weekend of fights. Great week of fights coming up with all the bullshit that's going on in the world. It's good to be able to do this job, talk to these amazing athletes, some of my favorite athletes from my favorite sport. It's good to be able to do this. I feel very blessed and privileged to be able to talk to these people on a weekly basis. If there's any suggestions that you have, what I should be doing, maybe what I shouldn't be doing, who you'd like to see me talk to, what you'd like me to bring in, I am open to suggestion. I'm an open book. I am a mere white belt in this sports journalism podcast era. This is very, very new to me. So any suggestions, I'll be happy to take them. As you can see, the shirt, titlesport.com. It's the groundbreaker in sports therapy sprays when it comes to inflammation, when it comes to pain, when it comes to something that really, really works. You've got to go check this out. I use it on my lower back, my knees, elbows. I've used it on the back of my neck. It's a cryotherapy spray. It's got CBD. It is a game changer. Try it out, titlesport.com. And that's about it. Thanks very much for listening. This is Marcus Deegan for The Marcus Deegan Show. Take care. The Marcus Deegan Show.